Black women in corporate. How y'all doing? Y'all all right? Come on, let's take a collective deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. But sending emails in corporate America as a woman of color, specifically a black woman, because that's the experience that I know, it can be the communication Olympics. Because I just can't simply send an email without all of the pleasantries, right? As others can do. I just can't simply answer your question that you asked me. I have to hope that your day was well too. Out of fear of sounding aggressive, abrasive, short, all the things. Sometimes I do it because it's just like, yeah, I'm not about to, I'm not about to hope your day was well and happy Monday and happy Friday you to death. At a certain point, it's like, hey. But I feel like sometimes we do. We have to play the game. Or if you don't play the game, encourage your sis. Encourage me. Okay? But yeah. I hope everyone is doing well.
Why is it that Black women aren't allowed to be introverted at work? Why is there this unspoken expectation for us to be chipper and excited or funny or entertaining? Otherwise, we don't like our job, or we don't like our coworkers, or we're not fitting into the culture. I'm in this Corporate Baddies Connect group chat where Black women of all industries just like share their experiences. And that's what we've been talking about lately. It's just like, performance reviews are coming around and a lot of people are getting docked or getting reprimanded for being unengaged, is what they call it. And it's like, that's not fair. Like, that is not a fair expectation for us.
There's one thing that'll always irk me in corporate America, and here's how I respond to it. So I was just in a meeting where we're all on camera. My coworker chats me via Zoom and says, "Fix ya face, YA, fix ya face, you mean muggin." So I wrote back and I said, "Oh, what an interesting thing to say." No emojis, no LOLs, nothing. So that person then backtracks and goes, "Oh, not mean mugging, rather disinterested." So I said, I would argue that everyone on the call looks like that. Then the tone changed even more. "Oh, yeah, it's a boring meeting, so I get it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Did you chat anyone else or just me?" I don't know what it is, but if I'm not laughing, smiling, nodding, sending reactions, people get so uncomfortable, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to change it. I just do know that when those things come up, I'm not giving into it and I'm not changing my behavior because you feel uncomfortable. Furthermore, the peers in that meeting, I could see their phone reflections in their glasses. They looked disengaged, but I guarantee that coworker did not call them out. It's genuinely so exhausting. But if I call it out, I'm angry too, right? It genuinely will always be something. Always.
Okay, we're going to come back to this fix your face comment later.
What's one thing that you've learned as a Black woman working in corporate America? I'll go first. Don't go out of your way to do anything. Nothing. Do your job and that's it. The moment that they start to ask for things outside of your job description, just simply request a salary adjustment. Not a raise, not a promotion. Those are two different things. A salary adjustment. They don't care if you're sick. They don't care if you're disabled. And if you're a woman, girl, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care if you're pregnant. They don't care. Zero accommodations for you, but you will be expected to accommodate for them and bend over backwards for them whenever asked to do so. And guess what? All you have to say is no. And if it feels like it's getting to be too much, leave. Just that simple. A lot of these just apply to people in general. But if you are Black and you hear the word aggressive, run.
Okay, the comments about Black women having to perform at work, really smile at other people, otherwise they're not seen as engaged or they seem unhappy at work, that hit home. And it's also this idea that if you're too quiet, right, you're unengaged and you missed out on opportunities like promotions and are often missed over unless you have someone else speaking up for you that actually has some pull. Otherwise, it is something to really talk about, and it's been present in corporate America since I've been a part of it. Also, the comment about fixing your face. Now, the poster did not say the race of the person, but I suspect it was another Black person that may have been thinking that they were actually helping as being Black and often the only one in a room or in a meeting that looks like you. Everything does seem to be more noticeable to other people. For example, if you're late to a meeting, everyone notices. If you're frowning and everyone's frowning, but for some reason you stand out more, it's because you're the only. People are already paying attention to you because you are the only in a room or on a meeting, right? Now, given that, if we don't really change our thinking about this, it never changes, right? So I do feel like the poster poses the correct question to that person commenting to her fix your face, because this behavior is not okay when you really think about it, and we should not promote the continuation of it, of making others feel like they need to do something differently, even though in real life this is really happening. Because if we don't change, then these things never change. You get my point? Let me know your thoughts on this, and if you've ever received feedback in the office which was unfair and unwarranted, where you were singled out for trivial things like standard facial expressions instead of your actual work quality. Anyway, let's continue. So these next couple of videos are all about Black women in corporate and natural hair. You will hear women discussing their own comfort with wearing their hair natural or straightened to work, things that were taught by parents and others, and then also varying treatment that some women have experienced with various hairstyles. Now, I have to admit that I have my own feelings about my hair, and honestly, any way that I've worn my hair has always caught some type of attention, whether I styled it myself and had my fellow Black colleagues referencing it, basically saying I need to get a stylist, to non Black colleagues giving positive comments on my hair when I wore curly, or that one time I had a sew in to work. That was interesting. But something I've never done was wear braids to work. And it's not because I don't like braids per se, but I did question how I would be treated before the Crown Act and post.
Things I wish I knew in my 20s about being a Black woman in corporate. Your hair will always be the topic of conversation. So wear the braids, get the sew in, rock the fro, and own it. You have this way of just getting shit done and making it look easy. And because of that, you will get more things thrown your way. Remember, being busy has nothing to do with promotability. Be a Black girl's girl. The competition is never between you two, if there are even two of you in the same room to begin with. Build your personal brand, even when it makes you uncomfortable because you're too busy trying to fit in instead of stand out. You don't have to do the happy hours. You can just go home. But every once in a while, you should swing by, because there is a lot of decision making and connections that are happening around the water cooler. When you are dealing with microaggression, it won't just impact your professional life. It will impact every aspect of your life. When you find yourself in that situation, create a plan and get out. Take your vacation, drink your water, stay moisturized, and remember, you are more than just your job.
My Black corporate girlies, how do you wear your hair to work? I've been thinking about this, and I don't know if it's just because my mom always taught me growing up, like there were certain hairstyles you wear to work, to school, like in front of company, to auditions, etc. And there's certain hairstyles that are for your like vacation time, like yourself, when you're not being seen, blah blah blah. And I really want to do this like two cornrow style, like it's like two cornrows into like these really pretty fishtails, but like, is that not like work appropriate? And I know the Crown Act is a thing, but also like I don't know if this is just like an internal racism thing where I'm like, I don't think that's acceptable, but I don't really press my hair. I don't wear wigs or weaves anymore. Like, I really like braiding my hair, and I really want to braid my hair.
But let's talk about hair in corporate America as a Black woman. I was having this conversation with my boyfriend, and it's super nuanced, so I hope I do a good job of breaking it down. But again, this is just from my perspective alone. Corporate America, there's definitely an underlying bias and undertone when it comes to Black women and their hair. When I have a sew-in or a weave, whatever you want to call it, I get treated the best, easily. And that's not even just at work, honestly, in public places, same thing. But when I have braids, oh, you can tell there's a little switch that turns on. You can definitely tell they're thinking, wait, I thought you were one of us, as soon as they see you in braids, and just their whole demeanor switches up. And you know who I'm talking about when I say they, okay? This is where code switching comes into play. So Black men and Black women are known to code switch. Obviously, we have two different personalities, one with our friends and family, and then one at work. And I don't want to say it's just us. I know other races and ethnicities also code switch. I just feel like ours is more prevalent. When they see us in braids, they're reminded that we're not one of them. And you can tell in the way that you're spoken to at work with a different hairstyle. And outside of work, again, and especially in the South. Take this into play. I am someone who's been born and raised in the South. Don't even get me started on natural hair. Oh, they're not ready for that. They want to act like they have normalized it in corporate America, but they absolutely have not, and you can tell in the way you're spoken to when you have certain hairstyles. Now, I work a mainly remote job, so when I have braids, for the most part, I just don't turn on my camera. It's very telling that I feel very comfortable when I have a sew-in. I'll turn on my camera. It's fine. But when I have braids, I'm like, I pick and choose who I turn on the camera for. Very telling. And I am not ashamed. Do not take this for me being anti-Black at all. I'm not ashamed. I love a good twist, a good knotless braid. I love braids. I wore braids all my entire childhood. So don't mistake this for that. It's just, you can tell, especially when you work with some older baby boomers, you can tell who's going to treat you differently just by seeing you in a certain hairstyle. So I'm just not even in the mood for that. I will turn off my camera. That's just what it is. Anyways, is it just me? Am I just making this up? Is this all in my head? Let me know in the comments.
I can't believe there was ever a time that I was afraid to walk out of the house with the way my hair naturally grows out of my own scalp. Like, saying it out loud makes that whole statement sound even more crazy. But the reality is, a lot of Black women, even till today, are afraid, especially if they have type 4 hair, to walk out of the house with their hair in its most natural state. The truth of the matter is, a lot of Black women are extremely dishonest when it comes to the discourse surrounding our natural hair. That's why you see a lot of Black women saying they will never wear their natural hair to their birthday party, a club, a party, like a party in general, or any special event. The reason behind this is because Black women do not see any real or true value behind our natural hair. We genuinely do believe that other hair types look better and is more valuable than our own natural hair. And I don't want to hear anyone saying, babes, that's not real, you're just making that up. Come on, babes. There is a reason that Black women strictly wear straight wigs that do not match their own natural hair texture. And then the next argument is going to be like, well, other races of women wear wigs, weaves, and extensions too. White women wear extensions, Asian women wear extensions, and blah, blah, blah. Although that you guys may be right that those women wear, other women of different races wear wigs and extensions and weaves as well, the big point that y'all seem to miss, the big key point that y'all seem to miss is that they are wearing wigs and weaves that match their hair texture. And this is where the conversation of texturism comes in. The problem is, a lot of Black women do not like the hair texture that is growing out of their scalp. You can't say that you love your hair, your natural hair, but in the same breath wear wigs and weaves that are completely different hair texture than your natural hair that's covering your natural hair. You can't, it's very contradictory if you really think about it. And obviously, if you want to wear extensions and wigs, like, that is not a problem. No one is saying don't do that. You can absolutely still get braids, African hairstyles in general, like cornrows, kinky twists, all that type of stuff. And on top of that, if you do want to get wigs, if you do want to get hair extensions, get the hair extension and wigs that literally match your hair type to just elaborate on your natural hair to make it maybe longer, maybe fuller, whatever the case may be. I just want Black women to be able to create a world for themselves within our own community where we can walk out of the house and be ourselves in our most natural state. It's gonna be like, for example, all I did this morning, literally, I took off my bonnet, sprayed some water on my hair, and I fluffed it out. Literally, that was it. Literally the most easiest process in the world. Other races of women are able to, walk out the house, throw their hair out of their ponytail that they left it in overnight, and just walk out the house. Why can't we also have that same luxury? At some point, we have to stop blaming other people. At some point, we have to stop pointing fingers. At some point, maybe we are the problem as well. Before I could get to the point or the place where I can wear my natural hair like this, I had to have a real, honest conversation with myself. It was a tough conversation, but the conversation needed to be had. I'm very glad that I was able to come to the conclusion that I love my natural hair. If anyone else doesn't like it, that is a them problem, not a me problem. I literally love the way my natural hair, elevates my other natural features like my nose, my lips. I have a big nose, a big lip, big eyes. Like, it makes sense for my hair to also be big. Black women, just remember that you are beautiful, your hair is beautiful, your skin is beautiful, your nose is beautiful. Whatever it is, it's all beautiful. Do not allow outside forces to control and navigate your life.
What I want to know is, why are people so concerned when a Black woman is so quiet? Why we just can't be in our roles and our positions and have like a straight face? Why do you guys take our quietness as a concern? Like, do you understand that a lot of these Black women that are high performative, we're quiet because we're not used to like really expressing ourselves. Like, our culture is mostly giving poker face. We are not buddy and friends with anyone, barely even our family members. It's just like a handful of like our close girls that we're actually able to be very expressive. But outside of that, like, if there is no need for us to be smiling and to be forcing all these emotions when it comes to engaging, why do you guys need that? Like, we don't have to do that unless it requires us to. The work environment is really not that. We're really being paid to do our job. Why does it require us to also reward you guys with a smile while we're doing it? Are you guys paying us to smile? Why do we got to put a smiley face when we got to be assertive? We're just trying to hold our heads down and do the best we can. Stop trying to expect us to coddle your feelings while we're doing it. We're already neurotic in being in this place. Please allow us to just create a safe space for ourselves to do our work. Don't ask us for nothing else. Don't ask us for nothing else. We're doing the best, okay? We're doing the best. We're doing the best. Jesus Christ.